Hello there, it's Stacey Dykes, your neighborhood realtor in Wilmington and Raleigh, North Carolina. Today, I was sending out some worksheets for the price to buy a home to some of my new buyers. I work with first-time home buyers, I work with relocation a lot. So it's really good to give them an idea of what they should expect when it comes to their finances, what they have to bring to closing, who they have to pay, when they have to pay it, how do they pay it. I'm here to answer all those questions. First things first, coffee. Okay, let's go over the spreadsheet that I put together. And if you'd like one, shoot me a comment below. I'd be happy to email you one. If you're in North Carolina, this will definitely specifically be more catered to you. But if you want it from anywhere, just let me know. First and foremost, offer expenses. Here in North Carolina, we have a due diligence fee, which is a non-refundable fee after execution of a contract that is paid directly to the seller. With this due diligence fee, you now have a due diligence period where you can have your appraiser come through, inspectors come through, and you can negotiate any repairs that need to be done. Okay, next is your earnest money deposit. That's what we call it here in North Carolina. I think some states call it like a good faith deposit. I don't know, but this deposit is paid again by check or by wire transfer, and it goes directly to a trust account. Now, most brokerages in North Carolina don't hold a trust account anymore. There's just too many legalities with it, and we're just not trying to get tied up in that. So this usually goes to your attorney of choice, who's going to conduct your closing, do your title search, draft all your paperwork, your closing disclosure. We'll work very closely with them along with your lender to get everything in line and everything done. So that check, that amount of money will go directly to them, and they will hold it until close. Hear me out. Don't freak out. Don't freak out about these deposits. If you make it to the closing table, both of these will be credited back to you at closing. So let's say your closing costs come to $10,000 and you wrote a $5,000 due diligence check and a $5,000 earnest money deposit at the time of contract. You don't have to pay closing costs, already covered in your upfront fees. Now it gets a little complicated and sticky on who gets them back, if you terminate, where they go, are they split? So if you really want to know, let me know and I'll explain that all to you further. So have your checkbook handy when it comes to executing a 2T offer to purchase and contract. Next up, under contract expenses. Yes, I'm like looking at it because I need to jog my brain. We have inspections. Yes, you're doing an inspection with a smile. Home inspection, $500 to $600, HVAC, $85, pool, $250, termite, $100. You get the gist. You gotta do them. Normally, I set up a home inspection, always. I have people, I've got the best people. Trust me, you want them. They might be a little bit more on the pricey side. My home inspector charges $500 to $550, depending on the home size, and an extra $75 for termite. But he's the best and he will find everything. That's the key, okay? Don't go finding a home inspector that's gonna charge you $300. Don't do it, okay? So basically, home inspector will come in, they will do a full house overview. Now, they are not certified or have their license in individual little things. They're not an electrician, they're not a plumber, okay? But they're gonna give you information on there's something wrong with the toilet, you need a plumber to come look at it. And from there, we say, okay, we need a plumber to come out and we need a tile guy to come out, or we need a crawl space guy to come out and we need an electric guy to come out. You get the gist. Next is an appraisal. If you're getting a loan on the property, if you are borrowing money from a bank, a credit union, a mortgage broker, you have to have an appraisal done. This will run you about $650. Depending on if you have to rush it or not. The last 2 years, we've been rushing them because our due diligence timeframes are like a 5-day turnaround. So it might be a little less now that we're not rushing them. It could be $550 to $650. Next are your closing costs. Sometimes buyers surprisingly forget that they have their down payment percentage, so 3% or over. Usually it's like 3 to 20%, depending on your loan type. On top of that, you have closing costs. So I have people who are like, oh, I have a USDA loan. Like, I bring nothing to the closing table. Well, that's not always true because you have your closing costs. Unless the seller is covering all of your closing costs, you're going to have to bring some money to closing. It's just the way it is. So here, I'm just going to go through the closing expenses, not specifically the amount because every house is going to be different, every single one, but I'll go through what they are. We have down payment. We just talked about that. That's a percentage of the loan. Again, 0% for USDA or VA, obviously. Appraisal, we talked about that. Attorney fees, lender fees, prorated taxes, your revenue stamps, recording fees, any points that you buy with your lender if you want to lower your rate. It's a good thing. Homeowners insurance, flood insurance, that would be the Wilmington area, title insurance, HOA transfer fees, and your escrows. Most lenders that I've worked with say that your closing costs will run you like 3% of your loan amount, give or take. Again, this can all change if the seller is giving you a closing credit, any reason. I mean, you can negotiate that upfront on a contract or during your due diligence period. If there's $5,000 worth of like really important repairs, they could give you a closing credit for $5,000, which means if your closing costs are $10,000, you'll only have to pay $5,000. The seller will cover that other amount that you've agreed upon. So again, all of this can vary. It is all up to you, your lender, if you want to really shop around or if you trust your realtor to make some of those decisions for you. I think it's always good to chat with multiple people. I always give my clients home inspection options, although they're very close in price. Usually it doesn't make a huge difference, but also flood insurance quotes, homeowners insurance quote, or mortgage broker quotes, because sometimes credit unions have lower interest rates but more fees. Sometimes brokers have less fees but the interest rate is a little higher. Sometimes you can find something perfectly right in the middle. So there's so many options for home buyers. Anyways, I hope you had your pen and paper and you kind of jotted down some of those figures. If you have any questions, if you want to buy or sell in Raleigh or Wilmington, please let me know. I can either hook you up with the right agent, someone on my team, or I can personally assist you through the process. I'll put my information below so you know how to reach me. And thanks for watching. Have an awesome day.